Good morning from Asia. Monday morning, it's been a rough stretch for Bitcoin and all digital assets, to be fair. Well, almost all. Bitcoin fell more than 9% last week. And during the past day, it trimmed about 1.7% against the US dollar. The downswing leaves Bitcoin with a far slimmer 1.88 trillion valuation. 7 days ago, the market cap sat at 2.07 trillion, meaning roughly $190 billion has evaporated over the week. We've also seen some of the biggest Bitcoin ETF outflows since the start of the ETF. On Thursday, net outflows were $870 million, which is the second largest single day of outflows. 10 of the last 12 days have seen negative flows. Oof, rough week.
Yeah, brutal. But is some good news in the last week. So one of these stories that came out this week was that Harvard, one of the world's biggest endowments, according to a SEC filing that they had to submit, their IBIT holdings, their BlackRock's ETF shares that they hold, are their biggest holdings in their portfolio for their public equities portion of their portfolio. So the total amount of the Harvard endowment is almost $57 billion, and about 1% of that is held in Bitcoin. So that's about $440 million. It accounts for 21% of their U.S. public equities portfolio, making it their largest holding in the U.S. public equities section of their portfolio. Now, Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balkunas weighed in on the matter. He said that, just checked, and IBIT is now Harvard's largest position, and it's 13F, and its biggest position increase in Q3. It's super rare / difficult to get endowment to bite on an ETF, especially a Harvard or Yale. So this is as good a validation as an ETF can get. That said, $500 million is a mere 1% of the total endowment. Still big enough to rank 16th among IBIT holders.
Not bad. I've heard that Harvard also teaches education, but yeah.
Yeah, they do have an education business somewhere in there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a joke, though. That's a joke that's been going around for a while, which is Harvard, the education side is a vehicle for their business portfolio.
Yes. In other bullish news, Bitcoin treasuries continue to rise. So according to a report from bitcointreasuries.net, despite a slowdown in net Bitcoin additions, so 14,447 BTC were added in October compared to 38,000 in September. Despite the slowdown, treasury holdings remain at an all-time high. So you can see this chart here. It's just a steady grind up of corporate treasuries around the world holding Bitcoin. So they continue to accumulate, although at a lesser pace than before. They haven't been dumping their holdings.
Just as an aside to this, Graham, did you see Michael Saylor's poorly timed X post where it was an image of a ship in the background, Titanic-looking ship, and then he was on a light raft, like on a raft?
Yeah. People were saying that it's bad. Like the implication was that the Bitcoin is the ship that's going down, right?
Well, I mean, there's different ways to interpret it. You could say that MSTR is the ship. You could say that Bitcoin is the ship. You could say that fiat is the ship. There was orange coloring on the ship, though.
Okay, well, I mean, it's long been a meme that Bitcoin is your life raft, right? And in the sinking fiat thing is the Titanic. So that's what they were intending, but it just didn't look good. On that date. People interpreted it as Bitcoin sinking and Michael Saylor's on the life raft getting out. Yeah.
Well, you have MSTR doing poorly. You have Bitcoin doing poorly. You have the dollar doing well in comparison. So, I mean, again, the timing is just funny. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that's funny. One other pretty bullish development is that the Czech Central Bank announced a pilot to it's like a $1 million tiny amount, but $1 million digital asset test portfolio, and they're holding Bitcoin and looking to hold some stable coins in there as well. And here's a quote from the Czech National Bank. They say, The purpose of the portfolio is to gain practical experience with holding digital assets and to implement and test the necessary related processes. They do note that, quote, the central bank is not planning to include Bitcoin or other digital assets in its international reserves in the near future. That being said, the fact that they're testing it does seem to indicate that they're showing at least some interest in this. Forward looking.